The racism, rape culture, hatred that we're facing is way too ingrained for our hashtags to change it. These famous lyrics from Tom MacDonald pretty much sum up a lot of the problems that are going on in the world right now. We all have different opinions. Political opinions are supposed to be what allow us to express ourselves and our beliefs with the occasional civil debate and conflict. That is not so much the case nowadays, though. Only certain opinions are allowed, or you are labeled racist, sexist, homophobic, etc. In 2021, politics is dividing us more than ever. With liberals fighting conservatives and conservatives fighting liberals, we are never going to get anywhere as a society. Some people, including today's youth, just don't understand that, though. There are so many problems associated with expressing our political beliefs in today's society. Among them are so-called cancel culture, not doing the research to do what you actually believe, and accepting that you can have relationships with others who do not share your same ideologies. As seen all across America, cancel culture is something that is very popular online. It is also something that I myself have gotten myself into, unfortunately. But what is cancel culture? According to VOX.com, cancel culture is online shaming that is in the form of public shaming, in which the chosen targets are publicly humiliated and canceled by the media because of something they said or did. This includes them facing hate on all platforms, having their pictures and videos taken down, losing numerous followers, facing online bullying, and much more. This is something that we all see today, especially with politics and youth. People my age especially are taking what they hear or see on the internet and using it to shame others. We as youth are supposed to be taught to be accepting towards others no matter what or who they are. When it comes to specific things though, such as politics, we lose that thought. Some parents are teaching their children to hate the other side. Parents are also telling their children that they need to follow in their footsteps as relating to political views. That should not be the case though. We should be able to find our own beliefs and get educated properly. This way of thinking is what has led to many wars throughout time, where one side was convinced that they were right and the other side was definitively wrong. People's lives have been drastically changed because of things they have posted online. Many apps are being taken off of the main app providers because of the political party they affiliate with, and many social media users are having their accounts suspended and or banned due to them expressing their political views. No matter what party you support or are a part of, you should never be taking it off of an app solely for your political views. There have also been cases where people have been fired from their jobs due to them expressing their political views, even outside of that facility. People need to understand that just because someone doesn't have the same views as you or doesn't agree with you, that doesn't mean you cannot still associate or be friends with them. Politics does not make up a person, nor does it define the personality. According to PsychologyToday.com, over 80% of teens, ranging from 13 to 18 years old, reported that politics has caused stress in their daily lives, and over 33% of teens reported that politics has damaged close relationships. I can say that I'm a part of those numbers. I have been open about my political views in many different places, including with several of my friends. I have a certain group of friends who I can express my political views and opinions with, and many of us have different views and opinions. But we understand that everyone is not going to have the same viewpoint, and we have civil conversations. That should be how everyone thinks. Unfortunately, though, it is not. For example, I posted something online about a subject that was very controversial, and it was found by many people from my school. Due to this, I lost many friends. I got a lot of hate, and I let that get to me, which is something I should not have had. I really don't mind anymore, though, because I now realize that the world and the people in it are like that. The world has got to come together and face their issues and problems without having a big argument that does not have a very pleasant outcome, or nothing will be solved. I don't see that happening for a while, though, unfortunately. Problems are not going to be solved this way. If we all come together and realize that we may all have something in common, and that politics doesn't really define our lives, or us as a person, and actually attempt to solve issues instead of always arguing about it, we may actually get somewhere as a society. For example, someone can help create an organization where no big political figures and only citizens can gather around and discuss issues together and get different viewpoints and opinions, peacefully. They could then expand this organization, and it may have an impact on different politicians who always seem to argue and are never at peace, and in politics itself. I hope to see something like this happen in the future, but unfortunately, as I said before, I don't see that happening for a while. I wrote this speech to sort of allow people to see and realize that everyone will not ever have the same views on anything or agree on everything. We have politics in different parties for a reason. Also, just because someone supports a certain person from a certain party or supports a certain party, that does not mean that they support everything that person says or does or everything that party supports. I would just like you all to think about that. Now, there are some people who will defend the party they support or the certain person from that party they support, no matter what happens or what that person says or does. Now, I have my own beliefs in people who I support, but I will never support those people with every single action they take. I don't agree with half of the things that the people I support do, but but I support a lot of their policies. This is part of why we are so divided as a nation as well. If a politician does something that is obviously not helping anything, but harming it, even if you support that person, you should not automatically jump to their defense and bash anyone who's not defending them or is against what they did. For example, President Joe Biden once said, and I quote, "Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. I mean, rich kids." His supporters defended him for that, although it was 100% wrong. Former President Donald Trump has also said many derogatory things, and some of his supporters have also defended him when he said those things, although some of them were obviously just not right. The youth will not understand this for a while, I don't believe, and the war on politics will continue. We need to stop this because we are never going to get anywhere as a society if we continue. In fact, we will progress backwards. In conclusion, I would like everyone to know that politics is not the only part of life, and that there is so much more to a person in the world than politics and political views. Thank you.